What's up, YouTube? This your main man, AB the Hero, back again with another video. And dang, all we got to talk about this is going down, man. The whole Ball family is leaving Lithuania. It is no longer lit in Lithuania. 2 games left in the LKL season, but your boy Seskus messing up and everybody got to go. Let's talk. Alright, so today Vytautas played Sali, and today's game they took a L, but Lamelo and LiAngelo didn't play today. Gelo, who had a hurt ankle from last week's game, and then Lamelo, who just has not been getting playing time that most people feel like he deserves anyway, didn't play today. And obviously, as you could expect, that ticked LeVar off a little bit. It ticked off a lot of folks. There are a lot of people who were like wanted to know ahead of time, or is Lamelo and Gelo playing, or are we getting out of here? All right, so just quickly we could look at some stats from today's game, but I feel the same way. Like, if once I found out they weren't even playing, like they're not even on the box score here. They don't even have them listed on the box score. So a lot of folks didn't even tune into this game. Obviously, right after the game was over, reporters ran to LeVar to figure out what was going on. I will also say that today's game was an interesting one, because this was the first game that Lonzo was going to be at. So he was in attendance to watch today's game. And as you can see, Gelo and Melo are sitting in street clothes during today's game. All right, which that's ridiculous, man. I keep saying, I've been saying this all season. The little dude Melo is talented enough to where if you have to figure out how to make him fit into your offense if you want him on the team. All right, so let's see. There's some reporters. This is a dude who I follow on Twitter, Donatas Urbanas, where he kind of gives some of the quotes and will translate some things as well. But he's got a bunch of quotes here from LeVar. I would suggest, if you don't follow, well, I would say follow him to get all the news on things in Lithuania. But it seems like that's coming to an end. Which it all makes sense, man. If Gelo was hurt, why keep him over there and not have him training for the NBA draft in the first place? But what we want to do is, a lot of folks know, obviously, you know, Gelo is sick. But the coach Seskus did an interview today after he found out all of that. And so what we want to do is go through some of the things that he said. And because he was a little petty, you could tell he had his feelings was definitely hurt about this whole thing. So let's see, Q&A from the reporters. How did you react to balls that used? What do you think? I got the voices for y'all today. It seems you're relieved. It's not a single team ever. With injuries, they showed again they came here to show and not for basketball. I feel like, once again, this is a thing that keeps happening throughout this whole season, that these coaches over there keep making these excuses, right? And they keep trying to deflect, where you got the same coach who says that he basically lost one game on purpose just to show that the style. So they're not about basketball. You had then the BBB challenge, where you had a coach say that, oh, this game didn't matter, it was just for fun, so they didn't really play for real. You know what I mean? To me, that's just kind of crazy. Oh yeah, 100%. All right. So let's see. Seskus let him be angry. Was there a personal decision? I feel like there's this thing when you read this article here, and this article is from my boy Romnus here. Follow him on Twitter, man. He definitely, even after they're gone, and this is the thing, even LeVar talked about this. He didn't really have an issue with the organization, not an issue with the coach, not an issue with the people of Lithuania, the country. They had a great time. I'm sorry. he only had an issue with the coach, not an issue with the organization, not even with the media over there, not the people. He had a great time in all those aspects. It just was the coach. So it was, and Seskus actually talks about this in here of like their relationship started with them calling each other brother, and they were drinking milk and stuff. He don't say the milk in here, and it kind of turned, and he tries to play it on this thing of like, I didn't play my son, so your sons could get some burn, and he tries to talk about the give and take that happened as the Ball family was in Lithuania. But truth of the matter is, it's just one of those things, and to me, it's just as simple as what I said earlier, right? You gotta play talent. If you got a kid like Lamelo, he's 16 years old. The kid can score. He got no conscience when it comes to shooting that basketball. And you've got a scheme. If you only about winning, right? You have a scheme that has proven to work once you have everybody on board. You have to then do that. I think that what we've seen from them today, or from the past couple games and throughout the season, is that this was not about winning basketball games. This was about a coach trying to save face. He's trying to flip it on like, oh, this is the BBB, this is the Ball family, and LeVar is stopping them from growing, when in actuality, it feels like this is him trying to trying to save face and trying to prove that his style should work, trying to prove that he's right. You see also when you can tell when in one of the last videos that we did where I was saying like, yo, even the calls that he was making as far as a rotation goes to a coach who's trying to play to his team and prove that he's giving everybody a shot. He wants everybody to like him. And I think that in doing so, and then now all of a sudden he's trying to like pull a rug out and be like, yo, now we're trying to win games. I think that has kind of tore down relationships with not only the Ball family, but obviously players, where you see Thomas Dempsey leave. You see that there's a rift obviously between he talks about the folks on Facebook leaving comments when they decided to play Gelo only and not Melo, and I'm sure that those comments were coming from two sides of folks who felt like that was a good idea to play Melo, or three sides actually. Folks who probably felt like they shouldn't let anybody play, folks who felt like they needed to let both of them play, and some folks who felt like they only needed to let Gelo play. But I think that it just was too much. If he comes into this thing and has a decision made and is not like trying to play with everybody and all of this type of playing time, I feel like he would have had there would have been a better experience, man. Because we talked about this before. There's a lot of benefits on both sides to having the big baller brand on their squad. When they were moving about the cabin in a way that it seemed like the strings were being pulled in order to give them Lamelo and Gelo a shot to really showcase their skills, it felt like the team was running a little bit smoother. Yes, they lost a couple games during that time, but that was transition. Even in that time, you had a split locker room. You had folks who were attempting to do things in 2 or 3 different ways, and you have folks who were out there trying to play LeVar style, folks who were trying to play his style, and then folks who were trying to balance in between, and that just was confusing. Whereas now all of a sudden he tried to make this decision of, oh, we're only doing it this way, and it just was the wrong time to do it. Not when it's critical crunch time, end of the season, we need to get these W's. And so that was rough. But one of the cool things that did come out of them being over there is, like I said, Lonzo was there. Lonzo did a little interview. Let's check it out.
Great. So Lonzo, you just arrived in Lithuania. How do you feel here? What are your first impressions?
Cold. I don't know. Just hear my brothers. Have a good time.
And how long are you planning to stay here? You're leaving next week, I heard.
I'm going to be here for a week. And then back to California.
And your brothers are also leaving, yeah?
Yeah, we all out.
And why is that? Why so early?
Time to go back home.
And you told us you're going to make a rap concert in Lithuania. Is it still going to happen? Or was it just a joke?
No, it was supposed to happen, but as of right now, I don't know if it's still going to happen. So we'll see.
And what do you think about your brother's season here in Lithuania?
thought it was alright. Obviously, they could have got a little more time, I believe, to show what they could do, but that's still good.
What do you think about Gelo chances to get drafted?
I like his chances. I have a lot of confidence in my brother. I think he's gonna make it.
And do you think that Melo should come back here next season to improve?
We'll see what happens. We got 2 years left, so we'll see what ends up.
Who's the best rookie in the NBA this season?
One more time?
Who's the best rookie in the NBA this season?
Best rookie? Go with my man Kuz. He's on my team. I'm gonna go with Kuz.
Thank you.
Tuk tuk.
First of all, let's say I thought that was interesting there at the end. They asked him who's the best rookie in the NBA this season. And he said young Kuzma. That was kind of cool to hear him say. That was dope. But also the concert in Lithuania is probably postponed. They just missed out on a bunch of opportunities. And then for them to go and take a L today really set them back. They got 2 games left. Let's check this out. I wanted to see if we can see if I can pull it here. Something was going on with the LKL website today, so it was a little funky. But let's see if we can get the schedule of the last 2 games up here. What's the price? Prices going up. Alright, so I mean, the next game is a winnable game. Neptune. It's a winnable game. What do y'all think, man? I do realize that there's only 2 games left. Vitotis is still in 10th place. So they're only one game back now from regulation, which means that they'll go to the NKL as opposed to staying in the LKL. But to me, man, I feel like my dog Seskus really fumbled the ball on this one. Yeah, them losing in today's game. Now, as far as Seskus goes, right? If we look at this just from his point of view and like how he comes out looking after this, if they don't win the next 2 games or if they don't make it to like 9th spot, I feel like whatever like legendary status he has in Prini or Lithuania LKL, they got to put an asterisk by it, because this was a rough season. Before the Ball brothers got there, they had the first game, they lost by like almost 56 points. Then to go on that little bit of losing streak, start to have some success when you really started to give your boy Gelo a shot in there to put that ball in the hole. And then also when you compare the success that they had playing in the Big Baller Brain Challenge games and how many points they put up. So to me, it just looks like when you got it in this last game, what it was 69 points, and then you got a team that in another your same squad playing against other people's putting up 150, and then you coach and you get 69, and then if you then end in 10th spot and then you get relegated to the NKL and you just lost your money draw, the folks who are bringing eyes to your squad. To me, if you a legendary, if you got some legendary status, it has to take a hit after that. It has to take a hit. All right, let's see. And I think that you really, I know that they probably won't, but I would believe that they would have to start thinking of like, man, do we gotta find a new coach just to bring the Ball brothers back? Do we, like, is that, how much do you really want that cash? Because even if you think about, and I know we talked about this earlier, of like the teams who are in the NKL who would have to make a move, they would not have the arenas or the money. And then with the team who I want to say it's the team they beat today, not even having the potentially not having the budget and owing so much money that they may end up getting relegated just on account of them not having the correct amount of funds to stay in the LKL. Like, it's still a bad look just to be 10th place, just to have this whole season fumble like this. And then when you look at this is a big thing I've been saying this whole time as well, is that there are a bunch of squads, teams out there who would kill for the opportunity that Vytautas had, because they're a 10th place LKL team doing things that a first place team in the LKL wish and would hope they have the shot to do, right? Zalgiris, who probably is the most popular team in that region or in the country, right? I would believe that the most popular team internationally has to be Vytautas. Like, internationally, folks who are tuning in or understands, if you look at what do they show, the Instagram, Facebook followers from Vytautas is off the charts compared to everybody else. I feel like you have to really question this dude's decision and the way he handled this season, right? And I've said this before. I would have appreciated more if he would have just made a decision to play or not play folks earlier in the season and stuck with it than to let him play, then take him off, and then blame him for doing it, right? So to me, you can't play a kid in a style of offense with the expectation for them to fail, right? Even if you look at in this interview here, he talks about he already knew this was going to happen, so he was expecting it to happen, and this has to play on their conscience. Let me see if I can find that. But so when you look at even those things, right? You're taking a coach who like already was set up, already was expected this thing to go south. So when it goes south, like, it just proved his point. So how much was he really trying to help them, and how much was he really trying to do to make it all work out? If now he's saying, well, see, I've been saying this the whole time. I don't know, man. I'm not over there, so I don't know the ins and outs and the ins, but I can imagine that there's probably more that could have been done on Coach Seskus's behalf to keep them around. And also to get some more wins. But let's check this out, man. Who we got in here today? Tony Brown, what's up? Lawrence Akim, what's up? Ram Clem, what's up? AB, you about to go to sleep, huh? Play some on. Paul Hogan, always around, was good. Deandre Dragon, 360 was good. Grimjaw was good. Twitter Gossip was good. RW was good. Arif A was good. So surprised they're leaving Lithuania. I am. Let's see who else in here. Devontae Bartholomew was good. Hassan Yates, Marcus Davison, RASH2YFG, what's up? Oh boy, what's good? Yeah, that's right. I can't pronounce it. What's good though? Oh boy, Clash Royale. All right, but let's see. Let's go through some of these questions though. Need any more info? Oh, okay, that's who that is. I just caught that. Now I see who you are. 3 games left. One of them was Zalgiris. Oh, so they got 3 games left. One was so that's already not a good look. Actually, I want to say that I'm surprised because we heard LeVar already talk about he was expecting Melo to be there for the next 2 years. I also can see how like the benefit of like having a squad to travel. Well, actually, now that I think about it, having a squad to travel and play those big baller brand challenge games, which were big for the brand and making it international, how that was a beneficial thing, right? But if you think about the JBA, that's part of one of their selling points is that they're going to take one of the squads and play them internationally. So now, really, do you need a Vytautas at this point? if basically you can take a JBA team and then create your own schedule internationally to play professional European teams, Australian teams, teams in China, and globally, do you need to have your son tied to a single season and playing for one team that you can't control how many minutes, the playing style, and all of that? To me, it does make so much more sense for them to say, all right, Lamelo, now you the face of the JBA, and now when we go to our international team, we travel the world. They could set up how many in a JBA season right now is from August to June. You could set up how many 20 games, 30 games. The college season is 30 games plus the NCAA tournament. They could set up 30 games playing against international teams and pretty much put together a season for Lamelo and all of the JBA players to show out internationally. And I can guarantee you that they could find teams that will sign up for a Big Baller Brand international tour season. Hero ball. So let's see. Seskus is a horrible coach and narcissist. Dante Jacob, what's up? Dude is a fraud. Ball can play, lick the bellies. I think it would be wild though if they did end up staying in Lithuania but just went to a different team. I see your balls, good luck. JB or Chino Hills from Melo now. I wonder, I know college wise, and I wonder if anybody in the comments noticed. I know college wise you can't be a pro, but I wonder, can you play high school if you're getting paid? Which I assume you can, because that was going to be the issue with Melo with the sneakers. But I don't know if, and I know you can't play AAU because the A stands for amateur in AAU. Maybe strategic bargain employed by BBB might come back next year with a few JBA players. That's what I'm saying. That would be dope. But the thing is that if you have a JBA, why go to a team? You have your own league and your own squad with there. Do you need to go sign and play professional in another league overseas? Where what we've seen is look at the social growth that Vytautas has had from aligning themselves with the brand. So if Vytautas can align themselves with the brand and have this much success, then why not keep all of that in-house? How much money they had to spin out to have the BBBs and stuff all over the court and on the jerseys. Just create your own squad, travel the world, and do the same thing. I think Melo should go back to another team so it won't Chino for nothing. I think that's the cool thing is that AV Mommy, what's up? Is that that's what I'm saying. Rem Clem, LeVar just needs to buy himself a club somewhere. He really got a club, the JBA squad. Now, do they what they probably could do is have a home location like somewhere in LA and have teams fly into LA and play, or they could just take the team on the road and travel. That's what I'm saying. That would be even a lit thing to do. Have 10 games across the world and then have 10 games in LA, or have 10 games across the world and 10 games throughout the United States. That would be crazy. No, he can't go to high school. That's what I didn't think he could go to high school. Buy his own team in Lithuania. No, because a guy I knew played baseball in Cuba League and couldn't play in high school. JBA is going to be lit. I got a feeling the JBA is going to be lit, man. ESPN going to have a field day with this. I think that, like most people, like a lot of times, any news, any coverage, any news is good news type of thing. Or what's the slogan? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Any press is good press. And I feel like the ESPN is definitely going to cover this because ESPN is a group who has been waiting on this. I think that if ESPN covers it, though, they also need to cover the fact that they said they were going to leave within a month. And then so they need to admit that we were wrong. They stayed much longer. And then they also have to then admit that, look, the way things went, like it just made sense for them to leave at this time. Tip-off. That's somebody, man. Y'all here speaking that language, man. Dieter Dragon 360. My Google Translate is not translating what you wrote, man, or else I would definitely speak on it. The big difference is that it's a real league. Playing exhibition games isn't the same at all. Pro teams aren't going to try their hardest in exhibition games. I see, but I don't know if that's 100% true. Especially if you put money on the line, if there's a purse, right? If you think about, I mean, that would be something that you'd have to do, right? You got to set it to where these games mean more than just we showing up to just say we showed up and played against a big baller brand. That would be the challenge of like, so like what they tried to do with the big baller brand challenge games where the winning team got X amount of dollars, right? So they want you to play a little harder so you can get money and put it in your pocket. I could see that being a challenge, but I think that I don't think it would be a good look to be on the list of 20 teams who the big baller brand JBA team just ran through. So eventually, maybe if the first 5 teams came in there and didn't play as hard, by the time it got to like 10 to the last 20, if the team is 10-0, folks gonna start showing up to play their hardest ball because it's just a good look. It's like if you had an exhibition, if the Philadelphia 76ers went to go play Zalgiris right now tomorrow, you're not gonna convince me that Zalgiris is not coming out here to get that W and try their hardest. You know what I'm saying? They come in and they gonna play as hard as they can because you want to beat the 76ers, right? Now, I would believe that the 76ers probably would think that we're going to walk in here and run over Zalgiris until they showed up, and then they would start playing ball. They will, boy, do that. Perfect timing for them to join the JBA team. Swag. I can foresee it. I don't know how. I think Gelo might be too old for the JBA, though. It's normal in Europe, and best teams average up. But that's what I'm saying. 69 points is normal in Europe. So if you got a team who can score 150, but you still only hitting 69, then you limiting yourself. Blueprint Style, what's up? Lithuanian Ball, what's up? Mr. Berzada, what's up? Eliste Apparel, what's up? Let me see. Fuck with your channel, fam. Legit source. Appreciate that. Ladre check. Paul Hogan. And don't forget the conversation Laval had with the owner of London Lions that was caught on camera. London Lions is the only one in Europe owned by a black man. JBA graduates may go there too. And I would tell you, man, and I know I rapped with them this weekend about the JBA stuff, right? Which was dope. But even before that, I've been saying like, yo, I felt like that's a great opportunity. And then even just talking with them, like, and understanding like the plan behind it, and like, I just feel like it confirmed for me that like that's a move that a lot of folks should really look into. Shoot around game with no defense. 100 points says that unless once you start looking at the box score. But this is all I'm saying is that 150 points with a W or 69 points with an L. If you're really talking about winning, I'm taking 150 points with a W. Then we scored 69 points and the game was close. We only lost by 2, but we played amazing basketball. But we still got an L. I'm banking on the side of we scored 150 points. Yeah, they got to 120. We beat them by 30, but we still got the W. Read the New York Post. Yo, bro. What's up, Rock Casino? Sean Gibson, what's up? I can't even, that don't mean Lithuanian ball, you're just a hater. Before the Ball family arrived, that club was in debt. Put some respect on the Ball family name. Let me see what he talking about here. Lamelo ain't. I think, like I said, man, I think that it's. I feel like they put Lamelo in a. The coach put Lamelo in a bad situation to be successful. And he said that he did that. Like, that was his intent. Was, hey, I wanted to show him that XYZ wouldn't work. So, like, I think it'd be really hard to judge his performance over there when you have a coach who says, yo, this is how it happened. This was my intention. This is what happened. Mr. CEO, what's up? I'm gonna say this. I would not be surprised if you caught young Melo out here working in that good old JBA. Are you really asking me that? Yup. That's what I'm just saying. That to me seems to make sense. I don't know if that was the plan of today. I feel like if he was getting a ton of playing time over the past couple of games and was putting up buckets like he could have been, I don't think that would have been the plan. But I feel like, why not? What's the difference between, all right, because let's go back here, right? If you think about Melo, right now Melo would be in high school playing for Chino Hills. So he would have been 16 years old playing against 16, 17, 18 years old, right? If he goes to JBA, then you have him basically playing against what would hopefully be an all-star high school squad, right? So a hand-picked team of players who could probably go. So, like, if you think of the JBA, if they go and they pick in the 8 best players who show up at a tryout, and then if there's not top players, then they don't make the squad. You thinking about a JBA team as being the equivalent, at the minimum, the equivalent of a team who would win a high school state championship. And then so you've got 8 teams who, like, are the equivalent of a high school state champion at the minimum, if not a small D1, D2, 1AA type of level of a talent team. You know what I mean? So I feel like Melo playing against them, and honest to God, like, it's probably like a D1 level. You got, yeah. If you think about it, man, it's probably more along those lines. Because, like I said, they're not taking anybody. You got to be able to hoop. And if you look at the players who were there, a lot of them were getting recruited by D1. So you're looking at basically D1 teams, 8 Division I teams out there playing against each other. So, I mean, that should be good competition. Gelo is going to the NBA, G League, or back overseas if he wants to make more money. Melo is going to the JBA for another year and a half. Vince McCulley is the black guy that owns the London Lions. I would like to know if he would be interested in future JBA talent going there. It's the only game I had to pay $10 to watch online for facts. I got a question for y'all. Because somebody asked this the other day of how much will the tickets to a JBA game be, right? How much do you think you would show up and pay to watch a JBA game in your city? no good coach would want a kid who don't play defense, play video games all night, don't follow a game plan, and only the phone while coach talks. This is the thing, though, and this is the gift and curse of with the internet, right? Is that there's no good coach who knows that his players up all night playing video games and doing all of that stuff, right? So the thing that allows us to be extra judgmental is the extra information that we have, right? The high school coach isn't like watching somebody play, you know what I mean, following you on Twitter and doing all the extra stuff. It's about the game. No more than 20 for a one-time experience. 10 to 40. That's right, Ella State. It's on the phone while the coach is talking. I think too, you got to look at, like I said, if you really look at the relationship between, somebody told me this in my line of work, rules without relationships equal rebellion. So if you got a kid who not listening to you, that's probably because you don't have a relationship with that kid. I big the bag and flipping and fumbling. He $50 a watch in person, arenas hold 10K people, or am I willing to pay $20 a watch? Now, how much do you think people would pay if you got to meet and kick it with LeVar? How much would a LeVar Ball meet and greet be worth to y'all? That's just what language is this, man? I can't. Mr. Barzada. In trouble. Man, but shoot, I gotta get ready for a baseball game. But yeah, man, let me know. It's been real, man. We'll probably be on here later and rap some more. $50 from Hank. He's a babysitter, not a coach, not mature for men's basketball, both physically and men. With a photo or BBBT, $100. I think that in list apparel, man, I factually understand what you're saying. If you got a kid who you put out there, I've coached some high school ball, like football. I coached my son's like elementary school football team, and if I got a kid who I say run this play and he don't do it, then I'm getting him up out of there, 100% for sure. But the difference though is that you can't really start. If you got a 16-year-old and you expect him to be just as mature as all of the grown men on your team, then like I mean, that's you got some pretty bad expectations. $500, town that definitely increases the ticket prices. If the family is in town, that is the thing that I think you're gonna catch when you start looking at the JBA thing. Is that, I mean, they gonna be at all the games. It's they league. If you look at the Lithuanian games, LeVar is at every game in Lithuania. You can almost bet on the fact that he's gonna be at almost every game of the JBA with the whole squad. But yo, let me get up out of here, man. Hey, appreciate y'all coming through, checking out, and rapping with me. It's your main man, AB the Hero. Let me set up my thing so I can get it the bump out. It's your main man, AB the Hero. I'm out. Peace.